Hello, Judah family. Welcome. It's so good to see you this evening. It may not be evening where you are. We have friends from all over the world. Let's see. We have Ken from Vancouver. We have Craig from the UK. We have Jessica from South Australia. Oh, we have Kitty Cat from, I believe she's from British Columbia. Anyway, you guys are from everywhere. Rose from New Zealand. We love you all. We're glad each and every one of you are here. It's really good to be with you. So, tonight we're going to be talking about the heart, living from the heart. We're going to do some work together. Well, we won't call it work, we'll call it play, work, plurk. It's the kind of play that gets work done on a spiritual level. So, we're going to do some of that around your heart. First, I want to share a little bit of news. I want to give a shout out and share about Maria in the United States, who works at the Federal Reserve Bank. And she and I had a great meeting with Judah this week. So everybody that's concerned about the U.S. banking system, you can send your love and prayers to Maria and give thanks that she is there at the Federal Reserve Bank looking out for our welfare and the welfare of this beautiful country. I also talked this week with Judah and I with Linda in Zimbabwe, who has an incredible business bringing wind energy, a wind farm in Zimbabwe. So I'm super stoked about her vision for energy in that continent, in Zimbabwe, and possibly in South Africa. So send your love to Linda there as she overcomes challenges or has an opportunity to bring energy there. And then I also had a great meeting this week with Titia in Bosnia. And I asked her if I could share a little bit about her story because it was such a fun time that we had with Judah. She just recently moved to Bosnia with her family from the Netherlands. And so this is a big change, big move. And when she asked Judah about her purpose for being there, the first thing that I saw was a lemon. And I saw Titia breaking open this lemon and sifting through the meat of the lemon to find the seeds and pulling out these 3 seeds in order to reseed them for more lemons. And Judah began to talk to Titia about how she had come to Bosnia in order to make lemonade from their lemons. This is a phrase that we have in the United States, that if life hands you a lemon, make lemonade with it. Meaning take the sour things, the difficult things, the painful things, the challenging things, and turn them into something sweet, something delicious, something refreshing. So Judah was talking to her about how she's come to Bosnia during this time in order to bring healing and refreshing for those who have suffered from the war there. So I'm very excited about Titia and what's going on with her. And as fate would have it, the universe brought to her door, just after our meeting, some political leaders from her community. How about that? She didn't go looking for them. They just came right to her door. And so she's definitely an important ambassador there for high consciousness, as all of you are. All of you have your own unique stories, and all of you are doing great work out there. So that's just a little news. So let's get on to the topic tonight. Okay, tonight's about living from the heart. How do you live from the heart rather than your mind? And if you live from your heart rather than your mind, aren't you going to screw things up and make poor decisions? I hear from some of you who really put yourself out there to make courageous, bold moves towards living from the heart, and then sometimes things don't work out quite like you thought. Maybe you've made a big move, such as leaving a long-time successful career that you perhaps invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in education into developing skill to be a doctor or a pharmacist or a lawyer. And then maybe you worked many decades in that field. And then and then suddenly begin to have this spiritual awakening and realize, wow, this is not really what I'm here to do. Oh my goodness, what do I do now? And so some of you have even made a hard right out of those fields and skills and talents into something completely different that was more aligned with your heart. And now you're struggling to pay the bills because of it. So I just want to say help is on the way. Judah says help is on the way. Help is on the way. There's more help coming to you even now during this session tonight. And we still support, yes, support you in these moves towards aligning with your heart and with high consciousness. And we say you don't have to be a starving artist. What? Oh, that's a terrible phrase. We hate that phrase, starving artist. It's a phrase that's meant to insinuate that if you do what you love, if you do what you're passionate about, if you do what you're put on the earth to do, you're going to starve because of it. And we say stuff and nonsense, stuff and nonsense, stuff and nonsense. Okay, good. So I hope Judah's going to give us help around this tonight. So how do you stay connected to your heart? How do you speak from your heart? How do you act from your heart? What is the role of the heart in your spiritual life and in the process of enlightenment? And how can you protect your heart in today's world? So those are some of the things we're going to talk about. And Jeffrey sent over a message. He said, what if we all knew that everything, even the spaces, the empty spaces, had the spark of divine heart? And is there, and he mentioned just some words, heart list of words. And I love the words he mentioned: love, compassion, joy, peace, abundance. And so one of the things that's been on my heart as I prepared for today is this, and this is always on my heart. So I'm going to open up the window to my own personal thing here. And it's that there's lots of words that I could say, that Judah can say, or anybody else could say. They might sound smart or clever, or they might be helpful, they may not. But what's on my heart always is that you have an experience, that what we do here in the Judah family goes beyond words. When you hang up on this event that we're doing here in a little while, what matters to me is that something happens in your everyday life, in the room, in the car, where you're sitting right now, where you experience the presence of the divine. And you experience it to such a degree that it changes it reveals to you more of who you are, and that you're free, and that you're living your dreams, and that you're living as a spark of source in the earth. So that's what matters to me, is experience. All right, so let's dive in, and we're going to let Judah channel. Okay, let's talk about the heart. Heart, right in the center of your chest. If you are in a safe location, we want to encourage you to begin to drop into a meditative state. You might have heard us say this before: drop into a meditative state. What do we mean by that? What we mean by that is allow your mind to go for a swim in your heart. Allow your mind to descend down into your heart. Allow it to go be completely submerged in the heart. Come into your heart center. And so if you can, if you're in a safe space, relax your body, relax your mind. Let your eyes go out of focus. And you may even put a finger or a hand over your heart, the center here, not your physical heart, but the center of your energy center right here. And as you do so, connect. Now, some of you have already been asking. There is a question here printed out, the vessel brought to this meeting. How can I act more from my heart center? How can I begin to move the heart chakra and live from this energy? Well, here's a very simple way. Simply lay your hand on your heart. Very simple, not complicated. When you do this, you begin to drop out of your thoughts and your mind and into your heart chakra area. Mhm, mhm, mhm. All right, let's talk about this center, this energy center. This is the first center. If you have, and you likely have been, a student of the chakra system, these are simply old terms for energy, propulsion, energy, centers that turn in the body. Have you wondered why Sufis turn when they dance? It is because they are firing their energy centers. They are lighting their energy centers. They are getting the body in motion. You see, the body needs to do two things. It needs to rest and it needs to be in motion. It needs to rest and it needs to be in motion. And there's some of you, your bodies are very, very, very busy, always in motion, but your energy centers are stagnant. They are some of them, have things stuck in them, like a stick or a limb caught in a turbine. We want to remove some of those things for you tonight. Yes, and anytime. Here is answer number two for the lovely question about how do I live from the heart. Anytime something is rising for you in the way of your emotion that you don't want, something like anger, frustration, sadness, grief, guilt, shame, anything like that, then you simply use that. That is your opportunity. That's the stick in the turbine, and you use the arising of that thing to set yourself free. It is an opportunity. Yes, and it can be ever so simple. Simply touching your heart and saying, Judah, Source, please, will you remove this obstacle? It's arising for a reason. It's an indicator, a pointing to something that's misaligned, either inside of you or outside of you, with your soul's desire and purpose, with the perfection of your soul. And so you can simply reach in and pull the stick out, in a sense. And if you're not sure of the root or so on, where it came from whom, when, who's to blame, oh, you see, there is this whole, this can be a place where, you could get stuck in psychology or therapy. There is a lot of good therapy going on out there, we would say, and it is a part of our desire to begin to enlighten therapists and counselors and so on. But you could simply just rummage around in the trash and not get rid of the stick stuck in your turbine. So don't dig around too much. We would say don't dig around too much, especially if you're not getting some relief. But simply say, Judah, can you please remove whatever this is that's causing your discomfort? Because you see, angels and source energy know where the original wound are. Many times not in this life. So you could spend a lot of time in therapy and still not get to the root issue if it's from a past life or perhaps many past lives. Sometimes, though, becoming a conqueror over the issue in a current life can is enough to unseat the old. Okay, so let's move on here. The heart being the bridge between the lower chakras, energy centers, and the higher. So, in truth, if you're one of those, this vessel meets many of you who want to channel, you want to hear from angels, you'd like to see them, you would, like to have your spiritual eyes and ears opened. You would like to have more high level conscious experiences in the unseen realm. Perhaps you would like to engage in astral travel, or many other desires you might have. And she hears you say, when, Judah? How about now? How about yesterday or last week? And what we would say to you is this: when you fully embody every every tiny bit of your heart center, then all of these things, all of these gifts that you're desiring will come easily, and they will flow. They will flow, they will flow, they will flow. For in truth, all of these gifts, these higher gifts, the throat chakra, meaning you're speaking your truth, or we would say not even your truth. It is when you begin speaking truly from your throat chakra, when that energy is alive and spinning, it is not your truth you're speaking, it is God's truth that you are speaking. And you are becoming a spokesman for source energy. And you say, well, if I'm becoming a spokesperson for source, why is this vessel speaking for Judah? You're just an angel, angels, Judah. How about, why wouldn't she just speak from source? Well, well, we are the express image of source, as are you. And so for this one to speak for us is, yes, her channeling source, of course. Source, of course, source, of course. Yes. So now back to, and these gifts. So if, my dears, you can come into an enlightenment of the heart, an enlightenment of the heart, then all of these gifts will open up to you in short order, and your messages will be the messages of source, whether they be spoken or written or enacted or painted or however you may express yourself. And your visions, your thoughts, your mind will become a higher mind, a mind of wisdom. Yes. Good. So I'll just go to a few of these notes here that I had. So our heart chakra is the bridge for between our lower chakras, which are the places where we want to be rooted and grounded and human. It's our human centers. Our lower centers are human centers, and our higher centers, which are our heavenly centers. So we want to be, if you know, have you ever heard people say the old phrase, he's so heavenly minded, he's no earthly good? You ever heard that one? Well, that can happen when we're doing a lot of work or putting a lot of effort into opening up our higher spiritual gifts, but we're not also giving attention to being grounded in our lower chakras below the heart center. And so those lower chakras aren't lower in the sense of lesser. You know, in America, particularly, we're such a performance-driven culture. When we think of lower, we think of lesser, not as good, and higher is better. Well, that's not necessarily so in this case. So these lower centers are our human centers. And we need those in order to be appropriately human and rooted in the earth and doing what we're here to do, which is to have a human experience. And then our higher centers are our spiritual centers, our heavenly centers that help us connect with the unseen realm and with our eternal soul. So the heart is the bridge in between. It's the most important in that sense. So maybe for some of you, if you're frustrated because you aren't having these high level experiences, maybe bring your attention back into your heart for a while, into your heart chakra, and see what happens there. You see, so I wrote down here that the heart chakra is the throne of God. Yes, it is the throne of God. Yes, you see, many of you, especially if you have a religious context, you think of the throne of God as some mystical, exquisite, golden chair somewhere out there in the stars. It is not, my dear. The throne of God is your heart. It is your heart. Yes, this is where God resides, is seated. And we will tell this again. Some of you have heard it already, but what happens when you're born into this life? God is enthroned in the center of your being, in your heart. But many around you, and the culture and the circumstance and the parents and the teachers and all the conditioning teaches you to stop acting from the heart and use your mind. Use your mind instead. And you're rewarded with good grades and an allowance or whatever else, other rewards come to you, praise, pats on the back, approval, and acceptance if you operate from your mind. And so this goes on and on for a while until your mind begins to think it's in charge, much like as we have shared before. If you imagine your life, your human existence, your body as a castle, and your soul, the center of who you are, is the king in that castle. And your soul, your heart center, is meant to rule and reign all that you are and say how things are to be, and to be the creator and the authority and so on. And if this heart part of you, this kingly part of you, has been subjugated, suppressed, pushed down, and conditioned, and the mind has begun to take the throne, so to speak, it is like an unruly or wicked servant that has taken over the kingdom. And so you must be patient, but you must be courageous as well, and bold, and you must begin to unseat the mind and bring your heart back into the center, and bring your heart back into authority. Certainly, absolutely, yes. And so then your mind must come back into its rightful place, which is to serve the heart, to serve the heart. Good. So I jotted down here that diseases below the heart center are issues with our lower energies and emotions. Yes. So if you're having trouble with, let's say, really painful periods, or your liver, or any kind of center organ below your heart chakra, those can be where you need more. They spiritually indicate more shadow work needed, or more work for freedom and release from emotionally. Do you have anything to share on that? No? And if you're dealing with diseases above the heart center, like your thyroid or your ears or your sinuses or those sorts of things, they can point to blockages in this heart area, so that the energy is not flowing the way it needs to flow up into your higher centers. All right. So a really common mistake that I see a lot in our spiritual work is that we're wanting to attain these really high-level spiritual experiences before we're ready for them. So I put in the bottom the links for you guys, this map of consciousness. If you don't already have one, I recommend that you kind of pull it out and spend some time with it. And the colors in it are correlated to the chakra centers. So if on a day-to-day basis, if your norm is to feel, let's say, sad, then you're not ready maybe to be a channeler or to have supernatural visions and dreams. You might have those. And sometimes that's a grace that comes to us, that we're given some experiences of bliss to keep us moving forward, to keep us on our path, especially when we're mucking it out in some of these harder places. But you want to really focus on getting solid in these places. The way that you heal all of these lower areas, the grief, the sadness, the fear, the guilt, the shame, is by coming into your heart chakra area. Now, we're going to actually do some work right now to come into your heart chakra area. We do a lot in our work here, this what we call, Judah calls a getting free game, which is an adaptation on the Sedona method, which has been around for many decades. And it's a really powerful tool to help you. You probably hear that word surrender a lot. Well, just surrender, let go. That used to drive me crazy when people would say, let go and let God. I was, well, how do you do that? How in the heck do you do it? And so this getting free game is a way you can actually do it. It's the actual doing of letting go and coming into surrender. And when you can let go of things, you can let go of your attachments to outcomes. And when you can begin to allow whatever's happening inside you or outside you to be what it is, to accept it as it is, to welcome everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. And when you do that, that's when you begin coming into your heart chakra center. So that's the evidence, right, that you're living from the heart and that this heart center is spinning. The evidence is you can welcome anything. You can welcome it all, dears. Welcome it all. You have space for whatever is. You accept it as it is. You don't need to change it. You don't need to fix it. And that includes yourself. You don't need to change or fix yourself. You're okay. You know everything is okay as it is. That's right. And so you'll hear us many times asking you this question: can you let go of wanting and needing X, Y, or Z? Can you let go of it? You see, when it is the attachment, to an outcome or the expectation that creates the angst, the anger, the frustration that you feel. And it is, and these attachments, this desire for a thing, and expecting it to come to pass, you want a certain thing to be different than what it is, something other than what it is, because you think that when that the thing becomes what you want it to be, then you will no longer suffer. You will no longer suffer lack or unhappiness. And so you see, you in the lower chakra areas beneath the heart, you can be invested in wanting a certain thing to be a certain way, and anticipating, expecting it to be so. And if you get particularly married to an outcome, then you will, when that thing does not come to pass, you will feel angry and frustrated. And these are the things that block your heart and your higher centers. Now, we have been sharing, we're going to go on a little bunny trail here, that for the next 18 months, there will be difficulties in America in particular. And this is related to the political scene is going to be very hot and very polarized, left and right, red and blue, very polarized, lots of division and rancor and so on. And so if you are attached to a particular outcome and expectation of how things should be, that your man or your woman should win, then you may find yourself being frequently upset and thrown off kilter. And this will keep you in these lower and denser energies of unhappiness. That is right. And so what we have been asking of you is to release your attachment to all outcomes. Now, don't hear what we didn't say. We didn't say not to vote. We did not say that. But what we are saying is, if you want to feel bad, watch the news. And if you want to feel even worse, then choose sides and get very upset if your side is not on the winning end, you see. So this is much likened to this. If you, let's say that you love soccer. You love soccer. You enjoy going and watching the game. You love all the aspects of it. It's fun for you. You like the hot dogs and the sodas and being with your friends and everything that happens. And it doesn't really matter to you whether the red team wins or the blue team wins. You're going to be okay with whatever because you're enjoying the experience, you see. And so this is a good place to be. This is the heart chakra area. You see, you're there, you're enjoying it, you understand, you're not taking anything too personally. You understand that all of this is a game. You understand there are forces, powers, much bigger than just the singular you, which are overseeing all things, and that those powers can be trusted. And so you can relax. And be at ease and trust. Now, there are some who go to the game and they have a preference of which team should win, the red team or the blue team, and that is okay. They have a preference, but they're not so attached to it that it's going to ruin their day, their month, their week, their year, their next 4 years if their team doesn't win, you see. And these have a preference, but they could also have dinner or coffee or have a beer after the game with someone from the other side of the team, and there would still be love flowing. You see, they're not attached to an outcome. But then there are others, you see, they're very attached to their team. They wear their team jersey. They hang their team flag outside. They post their flag in the window shield of their car. And anytime they get a chance, they're going to tell you how wonderful their team is and how terrible the other is. And they're so attached that they derive their sense of identity from their team. And so if their team loses, it's going to be a terrible day for them, and they are going to suffer miserably inside because of it. You see. And these are even lower and denser energies, further and further away from the heart, you see. And then there are the others who, and it is actually happened in many occasions in the United States, perhaps in other places, where someone is so married to their particular team that when their team loses, they have lost their minds and violently attacked or even killed opponents from the other team. You see. And so these obviously are very, very, very far away from their heart center. And they are living in darkness, a darkness of their own making, a hell of their own making, we will say. So we are using this political scene as an example here for living from the heart. So let's go back to it. How do you live from the heart? You love the red team and the blue team. You love everyone in the stand. You love the custodian who is cleaning the bathrooms during the game. You love the parking attendant. You love the children there. You love everyone there. And you love yourself. And you might have a preference, but you're not attached, you see. You're unattached. You're an unattached observer. And whatever happens in the outcome, you can be at rest and at peace, knowing that there are higher forces at work. No matter what the outcome is, you see. And this, you can apply this to any situation, you see. Living from the heart means accepting, forgiving, releasing. Now, this vessel's been here and there. Let's get back to the getting free game and let's play this game. We're going to teach you how, and you can use it anytime. And if you'd like our assistance, you can simply say, Judah, please send your angelic assistance, supernatural power and help as I attempt to get free. So something arises for you. Let's say you get, you look at your bank account and you're in the minus, in the red. Oh no, something has happened. What's gone wrong here? And it's triggering for you. You are upset. You've fallen into your emotional state of lack, those lower realms that we've been talking about. Your root chakra issue, this is a money issue, is in your root chakra. So how are you going to come into your heart? Here we go. Hand over your heart. Can I let go of wanting and needing to have money in the bank? And you simply answer yes or no. Yes or no. Not from your head, but from your heart. What's the truth? If the truth is you can't accept it, you can't accept not having money in the bank, it's unacceptable to you. If there's resistance there, go ahead and tell the truth. Say, no, I cannot accept it. So the secret to playing the game well is that you say yes or no, but you tell the truth from your heart with no narrative about it. Just a yes or no. And then you keep working on it. Can I let go of wanting and needing money in the bank? No. Can I let go of wanting and needing money in the bank? No. Can I let go of wanting and needing money in the bank? Well, yes. Can I let go of wanting and needing money in the bank? Yes. 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 And see, then you have energetically moved the situation, which then allows for the miracle, the answer, the provision to come. And you keep working on these issues. So 3 questions. Can I let go of wanting and needing to be safe? Can I let go of wanting and needing approval? And can I let go of wanting and needing control And usually one of those three will address the issue for you. And you keep working on it till you feel yourself release it and let it go. You will feel your nose will get softer and softer and softer, and your yes will come. And it will come from your heart. And then you will know you have let it go. You have released it. And when you release it, we can take it. We can take it from you and begin to work a miracle on your behalf. We can begin to bring the provision or whatever other thing it is that is needed for you. We can, when you let it go, see, then you've released your desire, and you will find that our desire for you is even higher than what you can imagine. Yes. What we desire for you is much bigger than your desire for yourself and for those you love. So if you can release your desires and come into this neutral place, then all the higher energies are activated. And then you begin to connect with angels and source, and divine messages begin flowing through you, top down, top down, top down, right through your heart, all the way down to your feet. Yes. And so when you're struggling with angst of any kind, when you're struggling with those lower realms of consciousness, and you want to get into that green ray heart center in the 4 to 500s, and yes, the 3 to 500s, we will say, this is how you get there through this little game. We like to call it getting free game. Good. Yes. Good. You have anything you want to share? Yeah.
Okay. So
Speak nice and loud for them.
in acupuncture, and we have these what we call 12 organ systems, and so that represents the heart, liver, kidney, spleen, lungs, large intestine, small intestine, heart protector, etc. There's 12 of them, and we call the heart the king or the supreme controller. Now, how we look at that is, so the heart is the king, and then he has 11 ministers. And so what happens is, if the king does not take charge, so the king of the country doesn't take charge, and then the generals decide, let's go take over more land, let's go to war. And then the king, the minister of architecture says, let's build some beautiful buildings and some churches. And then another minister says, let's build some ships and let's go explore. And another minister says, no, I want there to be plenty of food for the people, so let's give land and seed and chickens to everybody so we can all be fed. Now, what happens? Nothing. There's not enough money, there's not enough people to do all that. So there's chaos in the kingdom. But when the king lets his 11 ministers know clearly, this is what I want, and they all work together, then they can accomplish that. And it's the same in the body.
I love that. That's good. So good. Yes. So bringing the heart back in as king, letting your mind drop down into your heart, almost like it's being submerged in a pool of water, all the way under, submerged in the heart. Speaking from the heart. So many times, if I'm in the middle of a situation with somebody, if I'll just take a minute, just a second even, put my hand over my heart, close my eyes for a second, the next words that come out of my mouth will be flowing from my heart rather than my head. And it's just a real quick way to get centered. So the heart chakra is our fourth dimensional place. It's the part of us that makes us different from the animals and plants, right? That makes us uniquely who we are. As we get rooted in this, then we have the fifth dimension, the sixth dimension, and the seventh dimension. And Judah recently shared in a channel that we can we have the capacity as humans to be seventh dimensional in the physical body. And so in the True You Accelerator course, the levels of consciousness through the whole course are from 500 and up. That's 500, the level of unconditional love, and up to 850 are the levels there. You can check those on the map of consciousness, and our dear friends that are professional kinesiologists verified all this for us. So if you are really a serious student, really wanting to get free of the hang-ups, the blocks, the things that are tripping you up, keeping you from living from the heart, and keeping you from those higher level spiritual experiences, you can dive into the course and you will learn how to set yourself free from those lower energies. And you will learn the tools and the tricks of the trade that you can apply over and over until you're literally free and living from the heart and in those higher levels of consciousness. All right, I think it's time to, I want to do some, we have some questions, so maybe we'll get to those. I think we're gonna, I don't know how much time I think what I want to do is do some music with a transmission. And once we're done with that, then maybe get to some questions. So as I'm transitioning to giving a light language transmission with song, I want you to think about this proverb. It's from the Torah. It says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. And I was kind of intrigued by this word guard. I wasn't sure that I liked it because I think a lot of times we get self-protective and we put up walls around our heart that block out love from other people and keep us from giving love to other people. So we have walls where we're not giving love or receiving it. So I wasn't sure about this word guard. But when I looked it up in the original Hebrew, it does mean to keep watch, like a soldier watching a prisoner in a cell, a jail cell. And so there's an admonition there. Above everything else, guard of your heart, for everything you do, it is your life spring. It is your life force energy. If your heart stops beating, it's over in the physical sense. And in a spiritual sense, if you're not living from your heart, then you're not being connected to your soul and to source, and you're not doing what you came here to do. So above all else, guard your heart, and everything you do flows from that. You have anything you want to share while I get connected over here?
Okay, just a couple of facts about the
Yeah.
heart. These are interesting facts. One is, what is the first organ that was functioning in us? The heart. We had a heartbeat at 6 days. We had a heartbeat. No other organ is there. So why the heart? Why is it first? Because it's supposed to be in charge. Second thing is the heart has a protector, has a pericardium surrounding it. No other organ has a protector.
Good
In
point.
energy medicine, we call it the heart protector. And we actually have a heart meridian and we have a heart protector meridian. Because the heart is so important, we have to have a heart protector meridian to guard it.
I love that. I think I want to spend some more time with Judah too, finding out more about how we guard our heart, because that's got my curiosity up.
One of the interesting things about the heart protector is we visualize it as a window that's over the heart. And when you get home to your loved ones, you open that window up, you allow love in and love out. You turn on the news and you don't want that information going into your heart, so the window gets closed to protect your heart.
Good. So not living from our heart, what the ego says is take and keep, take and keep. But what the heart says is give and receive, right? Now, if you're in a safe location, I want you to get in a meditative state. We're going to ask Judah and any Pleiadians, any of the beautiful beings we work with to give us transmission for healing the heart. We're going to set some intentions to heal broken hearts, to set hearts free from hurt, from pain, from unforgiveness, to revive the physical heart, and whatever else that they want to download for the heart. So I do want to tell you that when you are beginning to enter into this heart chakra space, this is the first space of enlightenment, and it's called a love enlightenment, or I call it the love enlightenment. That's how Judas described it. And one of the ways that you will know, I'm going to give you 2 ways to know that you're living from your heart chakra. You ready? One is you will feel fire, a physical, literal, fiery feeling in your heart area from time to time. Sometimes it may spread all the way out. Sometimes it might be just in the center, but it will feel as if if there's a stove burner right here and somebody turned it on. And it might get really hot sometimes or just a little warm. But that is one of the ways you'll know that your heart chakra is opening and you're entering this first stage of enlightenment, of 4D enlightenment in the heart chakra. The second way you know it is that you find yourself loving everybody. I mean, no matter what they say to you, no matter what they do to you, even if it stings for a moment, you'll quickly go back to forgiving them and loving them and giving them another chance. And everybody around you might think you've gone nuts and tell you need to set boundaries and this and that and the other. And you just want to keep loving, keep loving, keep loving. And you'll literally feel this new sensation that you have room in your being to love anybody and everybody, no matter what, good, bad, ugly, indifferent. And this is another way that you know that you have entered into this heart space and you're beginning to have this love enlightenment. You will literally love everyone, and that includes, so don't be fooled, because with that has to include that you feel a complete love and acceptance of yourself, even when you really blow it. The newness of this love enlightenment is that you will love yourself completely, accept yourself, allow all of your parts, embrace all of your parts, be okay with all of your parts. And these are the 2 characteristics. The physical sensation of heat in your heart chakra and this new stabilized, consistent way of being in which you love everyone. And that's what I'm going to be praying for you while we do this transmission, that you begin coming into love enlightenment. Here we go. Put your hand over your heart and get ready. And we do set an intention for this time of meditation, that everyone listening, everyone that can hear the sound of my voice, is entering into a love enlightenment. Your heart chakra is beginning to fire. Your heart chakra is beginning to open to give and receive love. To give and receive love. Unconditional love. In this new enlightened space, you love yourself completely. 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 You forgive yourself. You forgive yourself in all realms of time and space. You accept yourself in all of your parts. And you release and let go of all judgment of yourself. You release judgment of all of your parts, even the ones that seem to be unacceptable to you or others. Now you're going to love those parts. Yes. Loving all your parts. loving all of your parts. And in the name of Judah and the precious name of the Most High God, I take authority over every energy, every wound, every pain that has come against your physical heart, that has blocked you from giving and receiving love, that has blocked you from a bright and brilliant and spinning green with life energy center of the heart. And I bind every vow, judgment, yes, and any other agreement that you have come into in this life or in past lives that is blocking you from this love enlightenment. And I take authority over it now, and I release you from it. Yes. May the love of the Lord come to rule and reign in your being. May love be the king of your life. May love be the king of who you are. May love be the king of your life. May love be the ruler of your soul. Imale Pailoya Leo Imala Valeo Yahaleo Nave Shiva Leo no Yalasite Shiva Leo Naya Levio no Mayorote Isavororia Nario Nanario Dai Si parerio la vedana yete o no caio donai. Ai ora te ahai, ma vere atenana hey ahai. Love more than you have And for those of you that have given up on love, I ask you now to open your heart once again and make room to trust. Trust yourself, trust in God, trust in love. Open your heart, let down your defenses, tear down your walls, and welcome love in again. Isabele Malayana Yoroto Severere Maya. Vivere Malala Eno la 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 Magela Yatseverora. Imaleo Maleo Yana Ivale ala ayala Ivale meleo hello Ilamale Ivere Otsande Ivala Maleo Nayalea Tsirede. Firing the heart, firing the heart, firing the heart, firing the heart, fire the heart, fire, fire, fire in the heart. Giving thanks, giving thanks, giving thanks, giving thanks, giving thanks, giving Shiva. Okay, my dear friends, thank you for another wonderful week. You have some things? Oh, the fire element. I love it. You've been the king of metaphors tonight. Really good ones. All right, guys, we love you so much. We're always so thankful for you. Such a blessing always to see your faces here and to get all your messages. And I'm not able to answer all of them, but just know that we read over all of them prayerfully and with thanks and gratitude, and always sending a blessing from Judah. And know that Judah is there 24/7, 365 days a year, that you can just reach up and call out and know that you have assistance. We have ever so much faith and trust in your journey, in the beautiful soul that you are, and the power of God in you. And we're thankful to have you a part of our family here. We love you. See you next week.